Yo, what is up, everybody? We are like a day away from the return of Texas and Texas A&M, and you know we have to have a prize pick show here on Orange Bloods Live. I'm Jeff Ketchum, joined by Anwar Richardson and Jason Sukamel. To be completely honest, we don't know where Alex is, but we're going to make it through.
Never do.
He could be like slaughtering an animal in a field right now. We're going to do the prize picks. Who knows? He might show up.
He will not show up.
The good news is
I will take the less on Alex showing up.
I do have Alex's written prediction, so I can give Alex's score for him. I'll do that for Alex.
This is the show where we give our predictions on the upcoming game, and we give you some ideas on what to play in regards to prize picks. Although I have to admit, I've been looking at some of the numbers over the course of the last 48 hours. I don't love the numbers this week, but we'll get into that, guys. Like, comment, subscribe to the page, and by all means, use that QR code. Play $5, get 50 instantly with the promo code Orange Bloods. Look, I'll even just pop it up there for you. Bam, right in your face. Get 50 instantly, but you got to use that promo code Orange Bloods just so that they know that we sent you. Otherwise, it's kind of wasted for us, not for them, but it's like, oh, what's the point of us giving you the promo code if you just ignore it? Guys, there's a lot of stuff for us to get into today. Let's just start with predictions. Jason already has them because of the uniqueness of when we're doing the video. Normally, we do the prize picks video on Thursday and predictions on Friday. Today, it's a little reverse. Clearly, it's Friday, and we're doing the prediction show. Anwar, I'll let you go first today.
Yeah, well, for me, from a prediction standpoint, the thing that I rest on when I think about this Longhorn team is this defense. And this defense has been consistent all year long. And I think we all know how good this is. We can talk about, John Barron being, a finalist for the Thorpe Award. We can talk about the lead, having 17 interceptions this season, which is a total reverse of what the secondary looked like last year, being tied for second in the country. They're only giving up an average of 12 points a game. And realistically, that is not something the Aggies do well as far as the passing game is concerned. They're probably much better in the run. And so with their ability to shut down, I think the Texas can be able to shut down the Aggies as far as passing game is concerned, kind of makes them one-dimensional. So I just don't see the Texas A&M being able to move the ball on this team a lot. I think when I think of this game, I think of this Texas defense. More so than I think about the offense, I just think about how good this Texas defense has been all year long.
It really could. Anwar, it feels like Texas will have to have an uncharacteristic performance on defense in order for A&M, I think, to muster a lot on offense. This feels like, for me, and Jason, I'm curious, you just finished the matchup, so I know you've got a real good handle on these teams on both sides of the ball matching up with each other, but it feels like Texas is a team that I feel pretty comfortable will be in the upper 20s, maybe low 30s in this game. That's kind of who they've been all season. I don't have them breaking 30, but I got them in the upper 20s. And it just feels like Texas has only given up more than 24 points twice this season. They've only given up 30 points once. That was to Georgia. They gave up 24 points once. And then everything else has been below that. And so I feel like Texas is going to get into that point range. And how does A&M get there? Well, if they don't get special teams touchdowns or big special teams plays that set up easy scores or that on defense, and it's all on the A&M offense to kind of match Texas point for point against the Texas defense, I just feel like that's going to be too tall of a task for the Aggies. And their way of winning this game is going to need to include some off-schedule big plays that you can't really prepare for or predict coming into the game. But I don't think they can line up, and unless Quinn Ewers isn't playing well, I don't know that A&M for 60 minutes can hang with Texas.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you. It's interesting. I did my matchups, and I actually had it a little closer than I kind of anticipated. I gave A&M a 1-star, and I'd rank them 1 to 5 stars, so it's the slightest of edges. But A&M a 1-star edge over Texas and their run offense versus Texas rush defense. Trying to remember, A&M is, I think, second in the SEC in running, and obviously their quarterback plays a big part in that. Texas 4th in rush defense. So A&M gets a slight edge there, but you're right, Catch. I mean, things like special teams and turnovers can be a wild card that can throw this into a mess, right? But in terms of these teams go out and both play a B-type game, I don't see A&M's offense keeping up with Texas defense. Their offense is okay, but not against this Texas defense. I mean, this Texas defense should be able to control them. I think I've seen everybody's written predictions, so I know the numbers we're going to spit out here in a few minutes. I think we're all pretty close. I don't think any of us seeing A&M certainly lighting up the scoreboard, but I don't see Texas lighting up the scoreboard either necessarily. And this is not a great Texas A&M defense. I mean,
why don't you see A&M Tech? Is it the Quinn part of this?
Yeah, they haven't done it against Kentucky. They haven't done it the last couple of weeks, right? In Quinn not being 100%. Yeah, I just don't see Texas going out and putting up 40 points or something in College Station, hostile environment. I mean, Quinn has just been a little bit off and banged up. I mean, could they? Yeah. Is there one of these two teams that could put 40 up? Well, certainly it's Texas. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I don't predict that. That's not what I'm predicting Texas to go out and put 40, 45 points as we've seen them done other times this season.
What's your score?
I am at, let me pull up. We're way separated in our predictions. Not really. I'm being sarcastic, but I've got Texas at 30, and I've got Texas A&M at 20. And honestly, like I think I said it against Kentucky and other games. Like I'm having a hard time seeing how A&M maybe even gets to 20 unless Texas gives them a short field somewhere. Because again, that's just not a great Texas A&M offense. Texas defense is, they're going to show up every single week. I've been on record since September as predicting a double-digit victory, so I can't go back on this now. Texas is 5.5-point favorites. I checked it this morning. The line's actually dropped a little bit, but yeah, I've got Texas at 30. I've got Texas A&M at 20.
I'm at 27-17, so we're not light years away from each other. Clearly, I feel like this is a game where Texas gets ahead early. I think the best of Quinn Ewers we'll see will be in the first and second quarters, and maybe second quarter. I think Texas gets a lead. I think they lean on their run game. I think Trey Wisner is going to have a good game when it's all said and done. I don't know that it'll be emphatic, but I think they're better than A&M. I think I've got them. I think it's going to be a very close game, but Texas separates enough over the course of 4 quarters so that we're not sweating this thing out in the final 2 minutes. But onward, it could be that kind of game.
I mean, it could be. I mean, my score prediction is 31-20. So
you're way off, Onwar. 30-20. You're way off.
Yeah. So and like Jason, I question the 20. I'm giving A&M the 20 out of respect that it's on their home field. Hey, there's going to be a lot of emotions. There may be a breakdown or so that happens. Like, not a lot, but I just, it's going to be an amped up thing. This is a game that, none of these guys have grown up in. None of these guys have experience. And it's the same on both sides, but it's going to be on the A&M side. It's going to be on the A&M field. So a night game there. So I feel like I have to account for something that's going to happen. Like, I just got to account that there's going to be a breakdown. There might be a turnover somewhere. Like, that gives A&M's, a little bit. But in a 4-quarter game, that's where I question, can A&M do that for 4 quarters against this defense and against the Texas offense that, look, sometimes it's herky-jerky, but we know at the end of the day, Texas will put up some points. Like, that's not what we're worried about. Now, to Jason's point, it may not be 50. Like, I'm not expecting that, but we know if Quinn is a Quinn that is healthy enough where he can operate and feel comfortable. And I don't know what that threshold is. Like, I don't know what Quinn's number is. Does he need to be at 80%? Does he need to be at 85 or 90? Like, I don't know what that number is for him to feel like he's going. Kind of like before he got injured with the ankle. Whatever that number was, Quinn was cooking. He was cooking, the injury occurred, and then everything just kind of got thrown off. He's battling through. If he's wherever that number needs to be for him, then I think the point total is higher for Texas. I just don't know where he is from a ankle pain threshold standpoint.
Hey, we're also talking like mid to low 40s tomorrow night.
Mhm.
So could that possibly affect things? I don't know. I don't think it's going to be super windy, so I don't think weather will be a big factor. But cold hands, cold football, so that could affect the offenses as well.
What's interesting is that I feel like if the Texas we thought might exist before the season actually existed, this game might look a little trickier on paper, which is we thought this would be an elite offense and a very good defense, but certainly not an elite defense. I don't remember many people saying, I think this is going to be a top 5 national defense. And Texas is every bit of that. They are phenomenal in the secondary. They have difference-making players at every level. The thing that I think gives me the most security in picking Texas to win this game is that Texas defense travels. They have been good against everybody. And even in the game against Georgia, the only time all season where they've given up more than 25 points in a game, they were pretty awesome in that game. They turned Carson Beck that a year ago was arguably the best quarterback in the SEC. He hasn't been that this year. They made him awful statistically in every quarter. In every quarter of that game, he was under 100 in pass efficiency, which is ugly. It's an ugly number. And Texas, even in a game where they gave up 30, still found a way to make life hell on the opposing offense. It just feels like I can see A&M having a couple of big plays. I can see Marcel Reed having a big run at some point. But it's hard for me to believe that they really get some momentum on that side of the ball and sustain drives against this defense. And, it's funny. Even a week ago, Anwar, against Kentucky, there was this thought that, oh, my God, Texas gave up a few passes. It says a lot about the standards of this group that Jahdae Barron gave up a completion, and it was like, whoa, whoa.
Yes.
Whoa. And I think, I saw them attempt to throw a ball at Malik Muhammad, and I was like, whoa, it's getting crazy over here. The opposing quarterback is actually trying to throw. Texas didn't give up any points in the second half. There was almost this idea that the standard is so high that they gave up a couple of plays, and a fear factor set in. It was like, oh, this Texas defense is not having the best day. It's like, well, they gave up 7 points to Kentucky and none in the second half. That's kind of the way I feel like we'll see this game. I think A&M may hit a couple of plays. And obviously, I've got them. This is going to be a competitive game, but I just have a hard time. This is not the best offense that this Texas team will have seen this season. It's not the best quarterback play. Marcel Reed's pretty good. Le'Veon Moss being in this game, I think would really change it. At that point, I'm probably at a 1-score game. Maybe it's more 27-24 than it is 27-17. Jason, I know you did the breakdowns and you had them closer than I did. I didn't. I just think A&M's okay. They're pretty good, and they've got some really good players in some spots, but I don't know if they have them in the biggest spots. The only way Texas loses this game, and it's a possibility, is if Quinn Ewers doesn't show up and give us anything better than if we just get a B version of Ewers, Texas will win this game. But if we're doing grades at the end and it's C- or C, anything in the C's or worse, all bets are off. And that's kind of where I am with this game. I don't know that anybody's going to have a monster game statistically for either of these offenses, but Texas, it just feels like should have more.
Well, listen, I mean, I said it earlier. It's a 5.5-point spread. They're not coming in this game, Texas, as 3 touchdown favorites like they were against Kentucky. I mean, people acting, on our message board on Orange Bloods, acting like there's no chance in hell that Texas can lose this game. Yeah, they can. If Texas doesn't play well, they could lose this game. Now,
Jason, is the implication if this game was in Austin that Texas would be only an 8.5-point favorite?
They're 5.5, so I think neutral would be 8.5. Maybe in Austin, maybe it would be 11. Is it? I don't know how that exactly works. They always say 3 points for home field advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know if neutral would make it 8.5 or if that would be in Austin 8.5. But I mean, 5.5. I mean, that's a decent.
Well, it would be 5.5 on a neutral, right? Because you're giving them 3.
No, they're 5.5 right now in College Station.
So it'd be 2.5. It would be I get what you're saying. So 8.5
My point is Texas should win, but it's not. This is not a guarantee. This is not Mississippi State in Austin that they're playing, right? If Texas doesn't play well, and you're right, Catch, to me it comes down to Quinn Ewers, honestly, because you said the defense is going to show up. If Texas plays at a B level, it just doesn't go out there and crap the bed, Texas wins this game. They're just a better team. They're more talented. And someone said in the chat, the one area A&M has a pretty sizable advantage, and it could come into play in a close game, is in special teams. They got a great punter. They got a more reliable kicker than what we've seen from Bert Auburn this year. So Texas doesn't need this thing being in the fourth quarter, a one-score game where, a big punt for field position or a big kick obviously can be the difference in the game. Texas needs this thing to be out of reach in the fourth quarter. But, I mean, listen, if both these teams play, their best game or a B-level game, Texas wins this game. I think they win it by a couple scores. They're just a better, more talented team. But if they go out there and play like crap and turn the ball over and Quinn Ewers is off, I mean, A&M is capable of jumping up and biting them. So, Texas fans, I think, are maybe a bit overconfident going into this game. I'm in agreement. They're going to win by 2 scores, I've predicted, but it's not a foregone conclusion.
By the way, just because Daddy Sorrell is in the chat today. Matter of fact, he just gave us a super chat that I'll go to. In the strong side defensive end matchup, Barron Sorrell against Shamar Stewart, one of the better players on this A&M defense, edged Sorrell, and it wasn't even really close for me. Barron's been a more productive player, 9 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks versus Stewart's 4.5 and 1.5 sacks. And in 4 of the last 5 games, Sorrell has a much higher grade than Stewart in the Pro Football Focus grade. So Daddy Sorrell, just so you know, I gave in one of the more competitive competitions on my All 22 article, Barron advantage over Shamar Stewart. Both guys will play in the NFL. Who's onward? You got an offensive MVP and a defensive MVP in this game?
Gunnar Helm. Anthony. I'll probably say Anthony Hill.
Take the low line fruit.
I was not going to repeat it. I was like, Anthony Hill.
Because he's probably going to be a spy on Marcel Reed, so he's going to be in a position, I think, to make
a lot of plays.
Yeah. Jason, what about you?
I'll go Trey Wisner. I think Texas will lean on that ground game, especially in the cold weather. And you know what? I'm going to go Ant Hill's, pretty easy choice, but I'll go a little bit of a wild card. I think I'm going to go with Colin Simmons. I think one of these edge guys. I mean, in talking to A&M people this week, they're like, hey, they can be susceptible to getting beat off the edge if Texas makes us a one-dimensional offense and A&M's having to chase, third and long type things. I think Colin Simmons could pin his ears back and get to the quarterback a couple times.
Hey, Catch, can I give you something on Prizepicks heading into this weekend, the final weekend? So, Prizepicks allows you to do a season-long kind of play.
Yeah. No, I know.
So I put in a 6-pick. So, because I always swing for the fences, right?
Yes.
I dropped 100 to win 2,500. I've already hit on Jackson Dart's total, so I'm good for the season. I already hit on Shador Sanders' total, so I'm good for the season, okay? So here's the 4 more. If Jalen Milroe gets 30 yards passing, I'm good, okay? If Carson Beck gets 118 yards passing, I'm good. So I feel good about 4 out of 6 so far. Here we are. Isaiah Bond, I need him to get 165 yards receiving. And Dominic Lovick, I need him to get 76.5.
I mean, you're just not going to get Isaiah Bond.
Oh, that injury killed you.
The injury absolutely just derailed me. Because if he doesn't get injured, I'm sitting here like, 2,500. Like, how am I going to spend this?
How many receiving yards did you have? I have Bond on a play. 749.5 receiving yards.
I got him early. I got him at 675 0.5 receiving yards.
Can I give you an example of? I had $100 power play to win 1,000. I need 910 yards, actually 911 yards passing by Quinn Ewers. I need what looks to be 1,600 yards passing by Jackson Arnold. I need 240 yards receiving by Isaiah Bond. And here's the one that I just can't believe. I need 315 yards by Luther Burden.
Oh, yeah. He's terrible.
What?
Yeah. I won't even tell you. My season-long picks were in the NFL. I won't even tell you the quarterbacks I picked in the NFL because it's embarrassing.
Under on all of them.
Yeah, yes.
I got none of them right. And then I did another one. I did a $25 for 625.
I
need 200 yards from Zachariah Branch. I need that same 300 and something yard game from Luther Burden. I had Isaiah Bond, Quinn Ewers. I did DJU.
The more? Oh, catch. Come on.
It was at 2,400 yards. And I
don't care what it was at. Don't ever play the more.
The only one that I've hit out of what would be that's 4 out of the 10 season plays that I did.
Yeah.
Ed Klubnik passing yards. hit it going miles away. Everything else.
Well, I had Daniel Jones.
$1,000 if I just went low. If I went less.
If you went, I have one just like that, catch. All of mine, just real quick, Jason. All of mine were Brock Vandegrift, Luther Burden, Marcus Carroll, Alan Bowman, Graham Mertz, Dylan Gabriel. If I just do the less on all of them, I got 500.
I wish, Jason, that they would just let me wave the white flag. I hate going into my open entries
and still there. Yes.
Just take my money and I go.
Send them a chat message, just be like, I forfeit that entry. I don't want to see it anymore. Mine is so bad. I have Daniel Jones and Bryce Young. That's the worst. Among others, by the way. So they're not going
to. I can't. I remember when Alex came on here and he was like, the Xavier Worthy one. This is money in the bank, like take and guarantee. I feel like Xavier Worthy's been on the same receiving number for the last 3 weeks.
Hey, Money B says, to answer your question, Money B, no, they don't include the conference championship and bowl games, just the regular season. So, unfortunately, no, those do not count.
Listen, Isaiah Bond, if there's a needle out there that you can take, I'm just saying, man, out of ethics aside, Isaiah Bond, take a needle for me, man. Take a needle on Saturday. I need it, brother. Take a needle for me, man.
All right. Well, look, let's do this. Let's take a look at the prize picks for Saturday. Our guy Tyler put these in. Hopefully, it's a lot. Golly, there's a lot there.
I feel like he's got more than I'm showing. Maybe not, but
that's the most I've seen in any game this season.
Yeah.
I'm showing 21 total plays on my board right now. So maybe some of those have been taken down or some of those duplicates. I can't really read them.
He did it this morning.
Huh.
Well,
okay.
unless like you said, you would have to look to see if there's duplicates or something like that. But he did do it this morning.
I think when I'm looking at this, I think Bert Auburn as a Red Devil, 1.5 field goals made. I've got him in 27-17. I've got him making a couple of field goals. He hasn't been money all season long, but for a Red Devil play, I mean, that's one to keep an eye on. Weirdly, they've got Arch Manning listed. I would not have expected that. But if you want to go Arch Manning 0 point, I would tell you to stay away from the Red Devil Arch Manning rushing totals. Feels like Matthew Golden is a guy that everybody has to look at. They've got him at 43.5 receiving yards. He's the number one wide receiver option for Texas coming into this game, right?
Sure was last week. It was pretty obvious last week. So I would think he would be again this week unless Bond is more healthy than we realize.
By the way, Jason, I think the way this graphic is set up, it's got like all of the options. So it's got Quinn Ewers' passing yards.
Oh, I see.
Separated by Red Devil, Green Goblin or just the regular number.
Okay.
I got to be honest, man. I might take the Green Goblin, Quinn Ewers, at 204.5. But I don't know that I would. I'm so uncertain about what I can expect from Quinn that even when I looked at this earlier in the week, I just kind of expect that as this game goes on, Quinn Ewers is going to play worse. That I'm really worried that the best of Quinn will be early and that we could get a game that doesn't look too dissimilar from the Kentucky game a week ago, where as soon as that ankle injury happens, Ewers finishes the drive. I think they scored the touchdown on that drive. And then they go in at halftime and he comes out and he just wasn't the same guy. I don't know if it was, he didn't move around enough because it was halftime. And then, the time off the field kind of caused that thing to stiff. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't the same Texas offense. And as much as I have almost every week taken the Moors on Quinn Ewers, I might take that Green Goblin on War, but I don't know that I'm messing with a lot of others. I might also, I know you don't like to do this.
The INT.
The INT one, you could talk me into an INT one for maybe both quarterbacks that I'm sure they've got Reed at 0.5 as well. Matter of fact, just out of curiosity, because this could be a week where I would say take some lessons on
Marcel Reed's a Green Goblin with 0.5 INTs catch, by the way.
Yeah, so they think he's throwing a pick.
They've got Marcel Reed at 181.5 passing yards, and I think we all think A&M's going to be playing from behind in the second half. His last three games, he's gone 206, 268, 297. I'd hate to take an A&M quarterback in the Moore if I'm talking to Texas fans, but that seems like a pretty logical play to take Marcel Reed in the Moore because I think he's going to be throwing the ball in the second half. So.
I think I'd snatch up, if you're looking for a cheap Green Goblin, Amari Daniels at 39.5 there. That's really low. I would expect, I might 79.5. I don't know. They don't have a lot of obvious guys. If you look at this list, it's a whole lot of Amari Daniels, Marcel Reed, Noah Thomas, and then there's a few other guys. There's a part of me that thinks that Marcel Reed Moore at 33.5 is a sneaky good play, but we know that sacks count against rushing yards, so I'm more tempted. I'm looking for a longest rush. They've got Marcel Reed, longest rush at 15.5. That actually, I think, is the play.
Yeah, that I agree.
More on 15.5. That's not an that's like one off schedule run for a first down that goes for a little bit longer. I like that one.
Do you like that more than the Marcel Reed INT?
No.
Okay.
No. But they've got, the Green Goblin is real handy if you want to pair it with one other pick and it cheapens the value a little bit. But when you do when you shoot for the fences like you and I like to do, the Green Goblins end up not helping a lot. No. So I might, I'm telling you, I might do a Marcel Reed, Quinn Ewers double interception, just the two of them together. I might throw $20 on that to win. Probably 50 would be the return on that, but I kind of like that one. I don't know. This is a game where I don't love a lot of the numbers. I think Prizepicks has done a great job of putting these with 11 games of sample size, fellas. They got it.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. They've got it right on the money. If we go back to Texas, I think, I think for me, again, oops, sorry about that. Just real quick. I think the Matthew Golden 43.5 receiving yards, I think that's maybe the best play of this entire game. Because if you look at what they did a week ago, I don't know what to expect of Isaiah Bond, but their usage was really one-sided towards Golden. I mean, we know that Quinn likes to throw to Golden, but with Bond hampered with this ankle, Golden at 43.5, I think maybe the play. And then, they've got Isaiah Bond's receiving yards at 48.5. I think I would just stay away from that. I just don't know what they're going to get out of Bond tomorrow. I still like the Gunnar Helm 19.5 longest reception and 42.5 receiving yards for Helm. That feels like a layup. I think it will be going poorly for Texas if Helm and Golden, because if we're trying to correlate the numbers, they've got Ewers' passing yards at 237.5 without a Red Devil or a Green Goblin. But the main two receiving threats in this game would be Golden and Helm, I think, on paper. But if you look at the numbers, you combine those two guys together, that's only 86 yards. Where is the rest of the passing yard? I don't know that it's Bond. I don't know that it's DeAndre Moore, because Anwar, you've already outlined. It's hard to know what to expect from DeAndre Moore in this game. We don't even know if he's fully going to play. So I really think Golden and Helm in the passing game are two guys that the Longhorns – and I think Trey Wisner at 16.5 receiving yards. I'm starting to just ask myself, where is the passing offense coming from? And I think
good one.
I think those guys are the ones that I'm looking at the most.
I think that's smart, Catch. I think that's smart. Everything you just said makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the Wisner passing or receiving yards sounds really good. So Prizepicks has kind of their most popular picks. Don't peek, but there is one play from Texas. It is the most popular pick right now that's being entered more than any other pick in college.
You're going to want me to guess?
Yeah. Go ahead, Catch. You guess. I'll give you a hint. It's a Green Goblin.
I don't want a hint. I've seen all of the numbers. God damn, I don't know.
We got a super chat we need to get to.
It has to be the quarterbacks.
It's got to be Shador Sanders doing something.
No, it's a Longhorn.
There's
a Longhorn.
one
Longhorn.
Yeah, Shador is number 3 though. Onward, he's always up there. Yeah.
Okay,
Shador and Travis Hunter are always like up there in the top 2 or 3. Yeah.
Well, now because he wants me to guess, I'm gonna go like Bert Auburn.
Well, no. It's got to be a Quinn
pretty
Ewers
high,
play.
but he's not the number 1.
What's our favorite Quinn Ewers play? Is there a Red Devil that we missed? Or a Green Goblin? There's got to be a Ewers play.
Oh, I bet you I know what it is. It's the Arch Manning 0.5 touchdown.
No.
Is that one?
No, that's not even in the top 20.
All right, well, I suck at this game.
What did they set Ewers' touchdown number at? 2.5 is a Red Devil, right? I think that's what I remember.
2.5 Red Devil, 1.5 Green Goblin.
I'll go with the Quinn Red Devil. I don't think that's right, but
you're so close as Quinn Green Goblin, 1.5 touchdowns.
That's the most popular play.
16.5, 16,500 plays. The next one is Travis Hunter. Third is Shador Sanders. And then you've got Bert Auburn's like, what would he be? I guess 16th.
I am not convinced that Quinn Ewers.
And they got Quinn's passing yards. You're not convinced what? Sorry, Catch?
I'm just not convinced that Quinn Ewers throws 2 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it, honestly. But, yeah, that's the number 1 college football play on Prizepicks as of right now.
Bert Auburn, 6.5 kicking points. That's a good one, actually. Yeah. I can see that. Although if he beats that, he's going to beat it by like a point or 2. Like it's not like he's going to smash 6.5, because even the way I have the game going, that would be 9 kicking points. So I might use that Bert Auburn, but
I don't trust kickers, man.
He might miss 2 Anwar, but I'm saying he gets 9.
He's gonna miss something, yes. But I feel like I've told you this before. I've said it throughout the years. I feel like college kickers are 50-50 from just about any distance on the field. Like you put a college kicker out there, and again, there are a few exceptions, but the majority of them, you just think to yourself, oh, 35-yarder, that's a gimme. And then they shake it somewhere, something happens. Like I just don't trust kickers. This is why every time they miss one, I always just tweet out kickers.
As a default position.
I hate them probably worse than Tom Herman did.
No, you don't.
Somewhere, sometime, Almore's lost some money on a missed kick. It sounds like.
Oh man, here's the thing. Poor Isaiah Bond. I feel like he's gonna catch strays for a decade, and it'll be subconscious. Onward won't mean to do it, but subconsciously, that ankle injury is, I think, is the only thing standing in between Anwar winning. What was it, $2,600?
$2,500.
Who was your sixth one, Anwar? I forgot.
Dominic Lovick, I needed. That's a tougher one. It's 76.5 yards.
He might not hit that. So
yeah, he might. Yes, I might come up short. But if I get 5 out of it,
double your money. Yeah,
I would get $200. You'll get $200.
I think we have a couple super chats, guys. We probably should.
Oh well, let me. I'm sorry, I've been distracted. We'll knock out some super chats and then we'll. Oh, thank you, ATX Bates. I'll give you guys one. The easiest pick y'all can make this weekend. Will I order the bad beat bacon from Texas Card House on Saturday? I will take the more. If you set it at Red Devil 1.5, I might take that one. Texas
I might. Seriously, I think I'm probably going to order 2 orders of it this game because I plan on getting there pretty early for this one. So I'll order one pregame and one during the game. So,
same, Jason. Same. I might be there. I haven't decided, but I might hop in the car and get to the Card House at 11 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Just make a day out of it because I don't want to. There's enough 11 a.m. games that I want to watch that I don't want to drive during the 11 a.m. games and then get there for the 2:30 games. So
yeah, you can have breakfast, lunch, and a late dinner there then, Cash. Yeah, dude, just live it up. So yeah, dude.
If you put the more or less on, will I have 3 meals? Breakfast, lunch. No, I would take the under, but it could. I probably am just going to snack. You know what I mean? It'll be bad beat bacon, and then that'll fill me up.
I got to try that biscuits and gravy and that grilled chicken sandwich that Chad keeps raving about. Man, everything there is legit. So I'm not sure what I'll be eating.
Come out and join us. I saw that South End Zone Queen, and by the way, yes, South End Zone Queen. You're not alone.
Yes.
If I see anybody with 1,000 yards on anything, less. South End Zone Queen, we are spirit animals today because our heads are in the exact same places. By the way, Longhorn Football Edit says Anthony Hill has a career day tomorrow.
There'll be a lot of shit talking if that happens, right?
Maybe. I mean, look, we know he'll be up for the game for a lot of reasons. It's a guy that was committed to A&M, until they started to poop their pants as he was making his decision. He wanted to be an Aggie. I mean, that's why he picked A&M in the first place. His original preference was to be there. The whole Butkus finalist thing, I'm sure he's heard about that this week. So Longhorn Football Edits, like that's not a crazy shout. That could happen.
That dude.
I keep seeing Arch Manning comments in the chat. Guys.
Oh, God. Not today. Not today.
Look.
We're going to get that next week. Next week in the SEC Championship. Does Quinn give this team the best chance to win? I mean, I know it's only 11-1, but if they start Arch, like, isn't that the best play? Like, what's Sark doing? Like, that's coming next week.
The thing is, if it didn't happen last week when you could justifiably make the case that, hey, you're up 3 scores, you're at home, your backup quarterback's the best backup in college football. So, like, let Quinn save the ankle. That game was not at risk at all. And Sark was like, nope, that's my guy. And he is not taking Quinn Ewers out of that game tomorrow. Everybody just needs to suck it up. Look, it doesn't matter what we think. Steve Sarkisian is the only one that matters, and he has told us with his actions. Forget about words, Anwar. His actions have told us it's Quinn Ewers' game, and if the ship sinks because that ankle injury doesn't hold up and it just kind of goes sideways, then I think he's willing to live with that. And, that is just the way it is.
It is not going to change. If you might look at it and say, you know what? There's a better boo out there for you. And he's like, this is my boo. I'm sorry. Like, this is who I'm going to be with. Like, I don't care what you think. I don't care. He's had the opportunity to. And part of me wonders if he regrets benching Quinn in the Georgia game, and I wonder if he had to do it all over again. Would he have?
That's funny, Elmer. I've had those same thoughts. Like, I wonder
if he wouldn't, because he put him back in and it didn't work with Arch. So there's been no reason for him to.
Well, because that was his one kind of, you can do it and get away with it. If he does it again and pulls Quinn out, you can't put him back in, right?
Yeah.
So
I met with somebody earlier this week that's close to the team, and like very close. And he's like, I think Sark and that coaching staff believes that if they pulled Quinn under any circumstances, even with an injury after the Georgia thing, they're worried that Quinn mentally wouldn't take it well. That, they've tried to build him up and put him into a position to succeed and thrive, and he's the guy, and don't worry about Arch and all this stuff. But they feel like, at least there is a sense from some people that are really close to the program, that, the best thing that they can do for Quinn is not insert doubt at all, because when he got pulled against Georgia and he came out of that Georgia game, it had an effect on him. People that know him say it left a mark. And I think that, and I get it, if Sark were to like pull the three of us aside and get us on a Zoom call and say, hey, I've been watching Prizepicks or the Modcast, and I just want you guys to know so you'll stop talking about it. Like, I think for Quinn's psyche, he has to be on the field, and that we would just do damage if we took him off. And I would go, okay, makes sense. I get that. And I just don't think it's anything that Sark will ever say, but it makes the most sense, because last week it felt like Sark was like butting his head into the wall by not preserving Quinn a little bit, that it just seemed like such an obvious thing to do when his mobility was so limited, but it never came close. I don't think. I think, I was saying it at halftime in our team's channel, like, man, this isn't me saying that I think Arch is better, because I actually think this is the game where you'd want Quinn. Anwar and I have talked about this week, Jason, that what's the point of having a 3-year starter if in the last game of the third year in the big
on the road,
like, you add it all up and it's like, man, I might think Arch is more talented and is going to be better next year. I might think a lot of things, but this is the game of all of them that you would want Quinn to play in, because again, why build in that infrastructure? Why invest if at the end you're just going to go, just kidding, Arch, go play. So I get it, but man, Anwar, fingers crossed that ankle holds up tomorrow night, because I think it could look a certain kind of way if it doesn't.
Yeah, I think, the ankle needs to hold up, and look, like, people in the chat said, like, hey, the Sark doesn't give a damn, and he doesn't. This is the same guy who goes for it on fourth down on his own 26-yard line. What was that against Florida? It was like they're 20 something. It was something we never have seen before. I've never seen anything like that in all my years of covering football. He don't care. And so now the thing is, what he's got to hope for is that he gets rewarded for that decision on Saturday, because if you go into you do that catch and let's say you take a risk against another team, okay, that's fine. But Texas A&M in a rivalry that's renewed, in a game that's the most anticipated game probably of the college football season, one of the most anticipated in the state, this nation. If you're wrong about Quinn's ankle and you put him out there and it's obvious that he's limited and you went with that decision and it cost you the game, that will be something that Texas fans will remember for a really, really long time. And that ends up being something that they'll appreciate the good, but that will be something that they will always point out and will always stick with them.
The stakes in this game were so high.
Yeah.
And it's almost like Texas doesn't gain a ton by winning. They really, both in the polls, going in next week, in recruiting, it's almost like you just hold your position. But they've got higher ground, especially in recruiting. People are like, I don't understand this idea that if Texas were to lose, that recruiting would go to hell. And it's like, well, there's no real nuance in that. It's not that recruiting would go to hell. It's that A&M would suddenly have a story that they could pitch to recruits that I think would land, which is in year one under Elko, they beat Sarkisian in year 4, and it just kind of levels things out. Whereas Texas right now does have higher ground. I think if you look at recruiting, Texas has won the majority of they haven't been as many head-to-head battles as you would think, but Texas probably feels like they got the guys they want more so than they didn't. So, could that be different in 2026? Well, lose, and maybe in-state things are just a little bit more complicated than they would otherwise be if you're SEC champions, or you play in the SEC championship game, or you have success in the playoffs and A&M is nowhere to be found. Then you just kind of maintain your position. So it feels like the Aggies have so much to win, and Texas has more to lose, if that makes sense. It's like one team has more to win and the other has more to lose. Guys, as we wrap things up, any final comments before? I don't see any other super chats. Anybody got anything else before we head out the door?
Jason's good.
No, I'm good. When we close out this video, I'm gonna record my coin flip with my dogs, and we'll see what the quarter has to say, and we'll have predictions up on Orange Blood shortly.
Just a matter of time. And if you're
catch. Yes. Our OB deal. What's coming up?
You're not on Orange Bloods. Rivals has a Black Friday sale. In fact, I'm gonna retweet it. It's not even a retweet anymore because it's a repost, technically is what they call it. 75% off an annual subscription. So basically for an entire year, I guess would be around $30-ish. I don't know what it completely comes out to. Use that promo code RIVALS24, 75% off. It's like us giving you a year for free if you're not on Orange Bloods or any rival site. I mean, if you're an Aggie, if you want to be on Aggie Yell, 75% off, same thing, promo code RIVALS24. But if you're not on Orange Bloods and you've always wondered about it, like, do it. 75% off for the entire next year. That means for less than a few cups of coffee, you're getting all of the recruiting process, all of next season, the rest of this season. We do a good job. You should check it out.
And you can just, if you're thinking about a gift for somebody, you can gift them. You're like, what do I got to do? I got a friend who's an Orange Bloods fan. I got a wife. I've got my husband, mom, dad. Like, you're like, what should I do? Hey, here's your gift. Here's your login. I signed you up for a year. And that's a gift that will literally keep someone entertained for 365 days. I can't tell Jason, Ketch, and I can tell you how many people we run into who will say, my husband is on this website on their phone all the time, hitting refresh, like all the time. Like,
I had that conversation yesterday with my dad about, like, he was buying some sod at a nursery. He's like, oh, are you related to Sucamel and Orange Bloods? I ran into it in Salt Lake City. Like, we've had people in Orange Bloods say, this is years ago, one guy said he was in Italy, went to a cafe, logged onto a public computer, went to Orange Bloods, and somebody else had already previously been logged on to Orange Bloods. So it's the best community, man. Join Orange Bloods, 75% off, promo code RIVALS24.
And guys, on that note, for myself, for Jason, for Anwar, for Alex, who is parts unknown, You think he's watching right now? And
He did. He sent a message in Teams like, "Oh, I thought it was 10 a.m." So
I said, well, we only said only a mess. I said, sorry, we had a message on Wednesday about it, and Catch talked about it in our meeting. But so there was only communication through our messenger, and Catch talked about us doing it at 9:00 in our meeting. So sorry. Don't know what else to tell you.
All right, guys, for all of us and Alex, who's maybe actually is watching the video right now, wondering, are those guys going to say my name out loud? Yes, we are, yes. Alex. You should have been here. By the way, what was Alex's prediction?
Oh, yeah, good question. Let me see. Alex is not too far off from the rest of us. Texas 28, Texas A&M 17. Oh Travis Gailey actually has the most outlier of predictions. You want me to give it or
I want to hear it.
Go ahead and give it. Go figure. He's got Texas 27, Texas A&M 25. So,
okay. I thought you were going to tell me that Travis had it Texas 41, A&M 12.
Yeah, that would have been more of the expectation. But no, he's got Texas by 2 points, 27-25.
I see what you're doing, Travis, and I approve. All right, well, guys, I said it for all of us. Hey, by the way, I hope you guys had a tremendous Thanksgiving. You were able to spend time with your family. And here's to the start of a fantastic holiday period. Here's to Texas winning tomorrow night because, by God, I don't know if I want to live in a world where that doesn't happen. Until, well, later today, we've got House Divided at noon. We have Football with Friends later on. We've got the post-game show for the Texas Card House tomorrow. Lots of stuff going on. Orange Bloods Live, of course. The A&M game is tomorrow. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys.